Sandy Says Read, and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to do a wrap up of February, kind of a look at what's going on here at the channel. You guys, I honestly can't remember if we've already done a February wrap up. I probably should have checked that before I began, but we're going to do this again anyway, because we need to go ahead and wrap up everything that happened in February. We need to talk about books that we reviewed, got up here in February, and we need to do a Booktube tag. Yes, we're going to put a tag in the middle of this because why not? There's just stuff we need to take care of. Yeah, we should just do the Booktube stuff that happens at a Booktube channel. We're going to do this in just a nice, friendly, conversational manner, like we kind of do here at the channel. One of the things that has happened is I have received a 1099 form. I have received a 1099 from my merch shop. You guys, I mention once in a while here on the channel that I do have a merch shop. I really am trying to monetize something in my life. I'm trying. We're working on it. The merch shop, Spreadshirt is where this happens, right? The Spreadshirt channel sent me my miscellaneous information form, and it tells me that I made royalties in 2024. Are you guys ready for this? Hold on to your hats. I made $9 in royalties in 2024. You guys, that is pathetic and sad. Why am I continuing to try to do that? I think the reason I'm continuing to try to have a merch shop is because someday there are going to be humans out there in the world walking around with my merch, walking around with happy little phrases from Sandy Says Read. One of these days it's going to happen. I want to welcome you guys to participate in that. Why not, right? Okay, for example, you can get stickers. They're cheap. You can get stickers like the Team Malachi sticker. Check that out. I know it's not terribly exciting, okay? But if you read the Choices Meant for Gods series, you know what this means. You will be on Team Malachi, and you will want to have Team Malachi stickers on all your stuff, okay? Also, if you haven't read the Choices Meant for God series, perhaps you're not into Team Malachi or Nigel and Charisse, whatever, right? Okay, we also have merchandise that gets you excited about entrepreneurship, right? Punch today in the throat. Yes, this slogan is available on book bags and other merchandise at my merch shop. I'll put a link to that in the drop-down box below, and I'll stop pushing the merchandise idea at you. I just found it kind of pathetic and humorous that I made $9 in royalties in the entire year. That's for a year, you guys. But you know what? In the optimistic view of that, that's better than 2023 when I didn't even get one of these forms, which means I made $0 in royalties in 2023. So this is an upswing, right? This is an uptick. Let's see if we can do better in 2025. I need to work at it, right? I need to do the marketing more effectively. Maybe I need to put some more exciting things in the merch shop. You guys tell me. I put the link in the drop-down box below. You guys can tell me if the merch in there is exciting or not. If it's not, we'll work on it. Okay, so during the month of February, here at the channel, we did do bookish stuff. We did some bookish things. Even though I traveled, and we'll talk about travel in a minute, I did do some bookish things here. We reviewed some books. Let me dig through this stack over here. I'm doing this out of order. Apparently, let me dig through this stack that I've put together over here, and we'll talk about these books. Hold on. I've got the stack here now. In February, we did a review of A Trick of the Tail, the story of every Genesis song by Travis Potts and Jen Selinsky. Get that up there without too much glare for you to see. I'm just going to wave these books at you so that you can see them, without glare, hopefully, right? Okay. We did a review of this book, which is it's a nonfiction book that goes through each of the songs, as evidenced by the title, that goes through each of the songs by Genesis. Very nicely done. Wonderful. Where can I set this? There you go. So in February, did a review of Spring Forward, Fall Back in Love by Carol Preflatish. Here is that cover for you guys to see with all the glare and crazy. All right, there you go. This was a very quick sort of a novella. All right. This was a contemporary romance novella that we we read and put together in time for Valentine's Day. Then also in February, we read Who Wants to Marry a Cowboy by Abigail Sharp. Here is that one for you guys to see. We got this review up. We got this review. You know, I don't think I got this review up until March. Even though I purchased it and read it in February, I don't think I got the review to you guys until this month. There you go. It is what it is, right? It was still a very nice contemporary romance, a contemporary cowboy romance, as evidenced by the title. There you go. All three of these are indie books. They're indie pubbed books. So those were in the Indie Book Spotlight feature that I do here at the channel now. We've been doing indie books. We've been featuring indie pubbed authors and self-published authors here at the channel since 2018. I have really tried to focus on indie authors, okay? But I have made that a little more official, you might say, since 2025. I've given it a title, a tag, a category, so to speak. So yeah, here in 2025, we're calling it the Indie Book Spotlight each time I bring you one of these indie pubbed books. All right. We also read and reviewed The True Story of Hansel and Gretel, a war survival story or a survival story of war. I don't have it in front of me because you guys, even though we just read it in February and we just reviewed it here at the channel, I have lost the book. It's somewhere in my house. I looked for it before starting this video for you guys. I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I don't know how that happens, but yeah, it's somewhere in the house. And I will probably find it like an hour after I finish this video. Yeah. When I go to sit down to edit, I'll find it. And that's fine. You guys, the video is here on the channel. You can see it. You can watch the review. Was that all that we did book-wise here on the channel? Yes, I think so. Those four. Then we also did a Booktube tag here at the channel in February. We did the Quick to Judge Challenge tag, where we looked at 5 to 10 books. That was the challenge. Pick 5 to 10 books off the TBR shelf and just read the first paragraph and kind of rank them in order based on that first paragraph, and then pick one to read immediately. The one I picked to read immediately was Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. I read it. I've got it ready to review. I'm going to film that review later today. You know, I do all the filming all at once here on the weekends. So I'm going to bring that one to you guys very soon. All right. That's sort of the bookish stuff that we did here in February. There's other stuff I did during the month of February. But before we dive into the sort of non-bookish things, I want to welcome you guys to subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe and welcome your friends to subscribe too, because this is a book channel. We do all the bookish things. And if you like the bookish things, this is the channel for you. I welcome you to join in on all the bookish, weird book things that we do. It's not just wrap-ups of randomness, although this can be entertaining. We also do book reviews, like we just mentioned. We do Booktube tags, and I'm going to do a new thing I'm filming today, a book essay. Yeah, stay tuned for that. If you click the bell notification icon, you'll be notified when the fancy book essay happens. Yes. Okay, what else in February? In February, I think the very beginning of February, the end of January, the Dragon Legends Anthology from Dragon Soul Press arrived, and that's going to have some glare, isn't it? There you go. This big fat thing came. Look at that. Look how thick that thing is. It's just simply huge, right? This has 25 stories from a handful of authors. These 25 stories are about dragons, as the title would suggest, right? Okay, so these are dragon stories. Mine, yeah, I've got one in here. Mine is near the end. Which one's Dragon Lessons? Hold on. Yes, Dragon Lessons by Sandy Lender is in this anthology. I started reading it. I've read the first story in here, and then I got interrupted and distracted, and I started doing other things. So I do intend to get back to this and read all 25 stories, or these 24. I intend to read the other 24 stories in here and bring you guys a review of this. Here's the thing. I want to chat with you guys for a second about AI. I don't know if this cover was AI generated. I'm guessing it was not, because the woman on the cover, look at her. Isn't she pretty? The woman on the cover with a glare is very well done. She's pretty. She's not, her hands look like a real woman's hands. I think an illustrator did this image. I think this was done by a human illustrator. I believe so. You can pick this book up wherever fine books are sold online, right? You can order this off of Amazon. I think you can get it off of Barnes & Noble. You can get the ebook off of any ebook platform. There were links to that, okay? But the audiobook, you guys, the audiobook has been narrated by a computer voice. It's AI generated, and that makes me sad. I'm disappointed in that. So I recognize, I see why the publisher did that. I mean, look how big this thing is, right? I can tell you it is 700 and some odd pages, right? Let me get to, yeah, 739 pages. That's a lot of pages for a person, a narrator, to read. It would be extremely expensive. It would be cost prohibitive for this independent publishing house to pay a narrator, to pay a voice actor to read each one of these stories and release this huge anthology as an audiobook. It would be too expensive to do. So they've taken the cheap route, which I understand why, but I'm disappointed. I wish they didn't have to. I wish that small publishing houses didn't have to make that decision at all. But that's business these days. That's where we are these days. And it's disappointing, it's heartbreaking, and I'm sad about it. So I want to recommend either the print version or the ebook version. I don't recommend the audiobook version. I just don't. I wish that we could all, as consumers, make a statement to the publishing industry in general that we're not going to support AI generated content. If it's generated by AI, we're not interested. We are humans, and we're going to support other humans, period. I wish we could, as consumers, do that. I wish we could band together as humans and support humans. I wish we could do that. And so I encourage you to do that. Pick it up in print or ebook. There you go. I will get off my soapbox now. The other thing that happened in February was a birthday. Miss Mouse, my Timna African Gray, had her birthday on the 20th of February. I was in the midst of weird, crazy deadlines for the magazine, for the day job, so I didn't celebrate until the 21st. We had to get a lot of stuff done for the magazine, so we didn't celebrate until the 21st, which Mouse didn't know. She didn't care. But on the 21st, we had all kinds of pumpkin bread and pumpkin treats and almonds and good things like that. Yeah, so Miss Mouse had her birthday. That was fun and great, and took pictures. The other thing I did in February was travel. I did travel for the day job. The day job, you guys, if you've been following the channel, you know. If you haven't been following the channel, let me tell you, I'm the editor of this magazine. Da-da. Glare, glare, glare. I'm the editor of Asphalt Pro magazine. The February issue was like our smallest issue of the year. This one is only 60 pages, but I took the February issue, or had the February issue, at the event I went to. I was one of the speakers there. I spoke about, what was the title of my presentation? Strengthening the Asphalt Chain. So I was talking workforce development, basically. And I didn't like push and promote my book, but I did mention, obviously, the Capture Your Dream book, because this is workforce development. Not in the asphalt industry, but this is workforce development for all of us. This is like entrepreneurs and such. Enough of that. Okay, what else happened in February that I need to tell you about? That might be all. We might be ready to do this Booktube tag. And you guys, I have the tag prompts on my computer screen. So you guys know here at the channel, I no longer have a printer. I went ahead and tossed that thing out. No point in having a possessed printer in the house, right? Okay, so what we're going to do now is the Booktube Bio Tag. This was originated with Jessica over at Jessica's Library Card. You guys, I could swear I have already done this tag. Like, I looked through the prompts as I listened to a couple of the other creators doing this prompt. I thought, I've already done this. This is already on my channel somewhere. And it may be, okay? But we're going to redo it because I think it was Book Chat with Pat who said one of the other booktubers recommended that we use this tag as a footnote, not a footnote, as a bookmark for folks coming to the channel. Like, when you new folks come here to the channel, you don't know who I am. I'm just this crazy woman who's like rambling at you about book stuff and parrots for some reason, right? So this Booktube tag gives you an opportunity to stop in and go, who is this crazy woman? Here we go. This tag is going to tell you who this crazy woman is. So let us dive in. I first saw this happening this time around with Book Chat with Pat and also with Shelly Swearingen. I really like to watch Shelly's videos. She does a very nice job. Well, so does Pat. I mean, they both do just a very nice job with their tags, with their reviews. Very nice. I can highly recommend them. And further down in this tag, I will. Just having some throat issues today, so it's a thing. It'll be fine. There's no slurping. No, there are other creators out there who get a little fussy if you drink on camera, but I know how to drink hot tea without making it audible. Okay, let's dive into the Booktube Bio Tag. Number 1, who are you? Share a little bit about yourself, as much as you feel comfortable. Okay, so you guys, I don't want to get too rambly with this, so I'm going to read you my bio. I've got the bio for author Sandy Linder. This is the bio I send off to conventions, whatever. This is the bio I send off to people when they request it. Sandy Linder is an international best-selling poet and award-winning author of fantasy, literary fiction, poetry, and short story work. She's a construction magazine editor by day and author of girl power fantasy novels by night, living in Florida to help with sea turtle conservation and parrot rescue. You can follow her author page on Amazon, check her website at sandylinderinc.com, or subscribe to her newsletter at this link. With a 4-year degree in English and 30-year career in publishing, Sandy's successes include traditionally and self-published novels, hundreds of magazine articles, multiple short stories in competitive anthologies, a handful of technical writing awards, a handful of creative writing awards, a Pushcart Prize nomination in 2020, and the 2023 Michael Nost Wings Award. Sandy's been writing stories since she was knee-high to a grasshopper, when her great-grandmother shared her odd little tales of squeaky ghost spiders around an apartment complex in southern Illinois. The stories have developed to include strong young ladies working with dragons to save worlds from terrible fates, but those pesky spiders still show up from time to time. There's always something brewing. It's okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, that's good enough. That's my bio. That's me in a nutshell. Okay, guys? Is there anything else you need to know about me? I mean, the parrot rescue thing, I have pet birds. The writing thing, I write books. I've written, let's see, I have 21 like long form titles out there in the world, but then I've got a bunch of short stories and poetry anthologies and things like that. Yeah, the writing is the dream that I always wanted to do since I was a little girl, like it says in my bio. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I've got pet birds that rule my house. I have some chickens in the backyard that give me eggs. They're my fluff nuggets. That's kind of me in a nutshell. That's what I do. I write. And then I edit the magazine. That's what I do. Oh my gosh, you guys, is that it? Is that all I am? That's all I am. That's good enough. Number 2, how long have you been on Booktube? You guys, I started Booktube in 2018. So that's how long I've been on Booktube. But there was that hiatus in there. I did have, I started in 2018, and then in September of 2018, I suffered a loss in my life. One of my pet birds passed away, and he had been with me for 19 years. I weaned him as a fledgling, and for 19 years, he was my constant little companion. And his passing was unexpected and horrifying to me. It was awful. So I went into a depression. I spiraled and stopped eating and stopped doing things I enjoyed. And this channel suffered for that. I stopped doing videos. I stopped recording things. I didn't stop reading, but I did slow my reading a lot. I didn't read a lot of books. And so there was no content to bring you, even if I could film content. Okay. So there was that hiatus in there where I didn't film for this channel. So I did take a break, like at the end of 2018 for a while. And then I came back to it though. I missed the reading and talking about books and doing that stuff. I missed that part of this channel. So I did come back to it. Yay. So I have been on Booktube off and on. I've been on Booktube since 2018. I've been like doing it more consistently since I think 2022. I think in 2022, I was back. Number 3, what kinds of books do you love to read? And has Booktube had an effect on what you read? I know that I love to read fantasy books. Epic fantasy, I really dig. But any type of fantasy, really, I'm going to be interested in that. I'm going to be drawn to it. If it's got a dragon in it, I'm there. Which is why I started the Dragon Reading Challenge back in 2024. When the Chinese Year of the Dragon started up, I started up the Dragon Reading Challenge. And I've renewed the Dragon Reading Challenge for 2025. That's what all those hand gestures just meant. But has Booktube had an effect on what I read? Yes, I believe so. I believe Booktube has encouraged me to expand my reading horizons. I don't read a lot. I didn't read a lot of romance until Booktube. I've always, how should I phrase this? I haven't always read a lot of indie authors. Once I got into the publishing arena, like in 2006, when I got my first contract, then I started reading other indie pubbed authors because I was with an independent publishing house out of Cape Coral, Florida, and there were other authors in that publishing house. And so I was reading their works. Of course, they're in the family with me, right? So I was reading their works, and I started reading other indie pubbed authors and realizing, hey, some of these stories are really pretty good, right? So there was that introduction to indie pubbed authors before I was on Booktube. I'm getting rambly. Sorry, guys, we're starting to ramble. Here it goes. Then once I got into Booktube, I could bring some of those indie pubbed authors to an audience. You see what I'm saying? Are you tracking with me? Yeah. So Booktube didn't really change that, but it broadened that, I guess I should say. Also, horror novels. I didn't read a lot of horror before Booktube, but now that I'm on this Booktube channel, I have brought more horror stories to you guys. Therefore, I'm reading more horror stories. That makes sense. Also, how is it? I've made a note here. Oh, the clock reading challenge. Yeah, there have been a couple of reading challenges and readathons. Like back in 2018, I participated in a couple of readathons that were going on. I haven't done any readathons lately. I guess I haven't found or noticed any going on. They probably are, and I'm just not noticing them in the Booktube community. But there was like a science fiction readathon where over a certain number of days, you were supposed to read certain books in the science fiction category that fit certain themes. Like I remember distinctly one of the themes was a science fiction book that had like a circle on the cover. But that was encouraging you to find a book that was new to you, right? And I did. I read The Rings of Titan. I should have looked this up before I started talking, you guys. Anyway, I read Kurt Vonnegut's story, and I had not read that one before. There you go. So that readathon brought something new to me. Booktube brought something new to me there. All right. It had an effect on what I read there. Let's move on to question number 4. What do you enjoy about making Booktube videos? What do I enjoy about this? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's random. It lets me be random. That's what I enjoy. Number 5, what do you not enjoy about making booktube videos? I do not enjoy fighting with the technology. I use StreamYard to record and then edit these videos. I don't like to edit these videos. The editing of videos is not my strong suit. This technology that we're working with here, the lighting, the ring light that is crazy, that is not my favorite. It's not my strong suit. My strong suit is wordsmithing. I'm a magazine editor by day, all right? I write very technical articles by day, and then I write fantasy and epic world building stuff by night. That is my strength. I can edit that stuff. I can edit for other writers. That's my strength. Editing little tiny bits of a video, not my strength. And you will notice that if you're on this channel for any length of time. Okay. Number 6, what video on your channel are you the most proud of? Okay. There are a couple of videos on this channel that I recorded for other writers, for other authors, and they deal with like book marketing type of things, like doing book signings, and boy, there's one or two on editing and how to work with editors, that kind of thing. I'm really proud of those because I'm just like word vomiting information from the trenches. I mean, I've been doing this since 2006. Okay. So there's a lot of mistakes I've made and a lot of things I've done right. And I just share it. And I'm not asking people to pay for that. I'm just sharing the information. If it can help someone, awesome. I hope that it is helpful. If it can help someone avoid a mistake I've made, then please, I hope I can help you avoid a mistake that I have already made. Don't make the same mistake I did. Hopefully those videos are helpful to people, and I am most proud of those. Yeah. Number 7, is there anything you wish was different about BookTube? You know, it is what it is. I know there are people who hate that phrase, but BookTube has something for everyone. So I don't think there's anything I wish was different because there's something for everyone on BookTube. If you want to find a channel where all the person does is sit down and rant and complain and be mean and angry about different books, you can find that. If you want to find a channel where the person sits down and is funny and satirical and humorous and just laughs his or her way through comedic books, you can find that. If you want to sit down and find a channel where the person is outdoors and like walking around talking about how different books help you see different seasons, you can find that. I mean, there's something for everyone in the BookTube community. And I'm really enjoying the people who do content similar to mine, where we just sit down and talk about a book, talk about several books that are similar in nature. I really like that kind of content because we're just riffing about books, and I like that. I like the less structured and the less produced, if you know what I mean, the less produced, overproduced videos. There are some videos where, boy, every other sentence has like a video smooshed into it or some kind of like a captioned picture stuffed into it to like illustrate a point. And that's nice. Those are quality, but I don't necessarily need someone spoon feeding me the way I'm supposed to feel about what they're saying. Just tell me, just talk about it. Let's just talk about books. I really like those channels where we just talk about books. I like that. Okay, so I didn't really answer the question, did I? Is there anything you wish was different about BookTube? I probably wish people were nicer to each other. I should have said that. Okay, number 8. Name 3 books you have reviewed on your channel that you feel represent who you are as a reader. Okay, you guys, I thought about this one. Before I started, I thought about this one and I typed in the Pit Dragon Trilogy Review the Two Twisted Crowns review, and the Hunter series review. Okay, and then I realized I was looking through, I looked through, I've got like 140 some odd reviews posted in my review playlist, and I'm missing a few. There's a few not in there, which I thought was odd. I'm gonna have to like locate them and put them in. Anyway, I noticed I was looking at series. The series books were showcasing what kind of reader I am. And those series were in fantasy. No surprise, they were showcasing what kind of reader I am. But I also felt like none of them were getting to the indie reader side of me. So I felt like I was maybe leaving something out. So I don't know that I'm answering this question as fully as I could be by limiting myself to only 3. But there you go. I mean, I read a lot of indie books, you guys. And that's what I focus on here at this channel. If a book is written by a self-published author or an independent publishing house published author, I am more likely to pick it up and read it and bring it to you guys than if it's published by one of the big 5. I say that, and I've got 2 Tor Publishing House books that I'm going to be doing a review for this weekend. But I am, like, if I have a choice between 2 books that I'm about to purchase somewhere, I will pick up the indie book first. If there are 2 books that I'm, weighing, and I only have $20 to spend, I'm going to buy the indie book first. The traditional published book will just have to wait for another day. Okay, it's the indie book is the one I'm going to read and the one I'm going to bring to you guys. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. All right, number 9. Name 3 booktubers whose content inspires you. Oh yeah. The content that inspires me to like do stuff here on this channel, Jo Linsdell. You guys, she's the one who inspired me to start this channel. Okay, Jo Linsdell, Jim's books, reading and stuff. Jim, he's so down to earth, and his alphabet tag. You guys, I think I stopped at the letter M. I need to get back to it because I was enjoying that. Jim's alphabet tag was inspiring me not just to do an alphabet tag, but it was inspiring me to read stuff that I otherwise would not have been reading. You guys, it was inspiring me to go, oh my gosh, I haven't read anything lately by a Japanese author. I need to do that. Stuff like that was going on as I was looking at that tag from Jim. So definitely, Jim is definitely someone whose content inspires me. And then Kaylee at Luminous Libro, I've been following her since 2018. Her channel used to be named something else, and now I've forgotten what it was. But she was taking donations and getting books for missionaries' kids, right? And I think the name of her channel has something to do with that. I can't remember it now. I've slept since then. Yeah, I can't remember it now, but I remember donating to that cause because I wanted to help her channel. I remember donating to that cause, and I've followed her since then, and I've just watched her channel flourish since then. I enjoy her content. She reads a lot of classics, and I like that. Yeah, classics could have been something that represents how I am as a reader. Okay. Shall we move on? Let's move on. Number 10, share the love. It can be a challenge to find your audience. You are not kidding. Okay. Name 3 booktubers who you think need more hype. Okay, 3. I don't think I'm going to limit this to 3. And also, I don't think that like Book Chat with Pat and Shelly Swearingen, I don't think they need more hype, but they need to be shouted out. Okay, I need to mention that, yes, those are the 2 where I saw this tag happening. Well, Jo Linsdell, obviously, she needs to be shouted out. There is a gal. You guys, I'm going to put this booktuber's link in the drop-down box below because right now I cannot remember her name, but she has changed the name of her channel within the last couple of months. Okay, but she does reviews of like genres of books. She'll do like 5 or 6 books that she has recently read in a genre, and she'll bring like a review of all of them together and talk about all of them as a group. And I really appreciate that. She's done that for like the vampire genre, fantasy genre. I think she did sci-fi. She did like a young adult fantasy. You know, she groups them together and she'll talk about all of the books. And I think she's done it where she's like ranked them as well. I'm rambling a little bit here, but the point is I very much have enjoyed her content and I want to give her a shout out. I want to bring her information to you. I just can't remember her name right now because I'm crazy. I'll put that in the drop down box below. Yeah. You guys, is that enough for this tag? Thumbs up for getting through the bio tag. This is me. Because it's a little bit crazy here at the channel. It's a little bit random. It gets a little chaotic at times. There's a lot of mayhem. That's how it is here at this channel. If you enjoy that, I welcome you to subscribe. Let's get back to the February wrap-up. And I think we're done with the February wrap-up. I think we're done with this. We've talked about all the things. We've done the bio tag. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about for February? If so, put a comment in the comments field below and we'll talk about it there. Thank you so much for tuning in.